458, 4 minutes until net time. 4 minutes. Story time. Everyone, it's 7:45 p.m., May 27th, 2024, Memorial Day. This is Russ, WRPB 458, and welcome to another edition of my Holiday Insight. Break. This is not a formal net, therefore there is no check-in required. Emergency traffic will be recognized at any time. With that said, is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? to not hear. If you would like to announce yourself and let everyone know you are here, you may do so at this time if you choose. This is WRQL 525. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. WRPL 271, Brian Terry. Appreciate you being here. Carl, WRNN 929. Carl, nice of you to be here. Appreciate it. Zero 100. Thank you for being here. Okay, let's go ahead and get right into this. First of all, I'd like to thank Rob, the owner of this repeater, for letting me use it to bring to all of you the 700 nets on Thursdays. And the freedom to voice my opinion and the freedom to let others speak as they wish, upholding our constitutional right to free speech and to bring you this holiday message today during this Memorial Day remembrance. The story I'm about to present to you was edited for brevity and content and was originally told by Major General William Grimsley, Chief of Staff, U.S. Strategic Command on April 27th, 2013. I found it yet fitting still today. Break. So as I've often visited memorial sites on the web virtually, taking virtual tours and things, and as I electronically walk by each panel of the original monument to read the names of the heroes lost in World War II, and then stop by the statue of the soldier and a small child, and with the names of those lost and missing from Korea and Vietnam, in which I am thankful that my father was fortunate enough to return home from Korea, and will someday also contain the names, I think, excuse me, of the lost from our most recent conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's fitting and right that we honor them all, recognizing that our liberties as Americans come at a price. Break. I also think those men and women who so long ago imagined this holiday we now call Memorial Day knew that they were what they were doing when they designated this time of year as our time to honor the fallen. It is a time of renewal and strength after a long winter. They must have imagined all the flowers in bloom, 1 million or more representing those lost in battles here and on almost every continent around the globe. They must have imagined the opportunity to tell the stories of the past to the American people who will pass these stories on to the children of tomorrow. Maybe that's what the soldier in the statue is pointing out to the child. Break. Today, we gather at cemeteries, monuments, parks all over the country. We march in parades in cities big, small, from coast to coast. We watch the annual Memorial Day concert on television. We do these things to honor the loyalty and the bravery of our fallen in this noble calling, military service. While this day is typically spent recalling the valor of men and women who died in combat, we must never forget those quiet professionals who answered that noble calling to serve the people of the United States in peacetime as well. The history of our nation and those who serve can be summed up in a short yet simple fitting phrase. Ordinary people who by virtue of their service and sacrifice are extraordinary. Men like Army Chaplain Captain Emil Capon, or Capon, who grew up on a farm in Kansas. His first calling was to God. God, he said, called him into the military service, so he joined the Army. Capon was sent to Korea in 1950 to provide comfort and counsel to the troops as a chaplain during the first months of the Korean War. The soldiers quickly realized he was so much more than a chaplain. Break. He was their soldier saint. On All Saints' Day, his unit came under heavy attack by Chinese forces. Capon had the chance to fall back to safety with a portion of his unit, but he chose to stay in the thick of the battle to minister to the dying and aid the wounded. He would brave a barrage of bullets, bounding from foxhole to foxhole to check on his boys over and over and over. He risked his life to retrieve the wounded or the bodies of the fallen. And when the wounded were beyond saving, he gave them spiritual comfort. Break. Despite finally being captured and in the midst of being marched away by a Chinese soldier at gunpoint, Capon saw an enemy soldier with his weapon drawn and moments away from executing an American soldier. Capon defiantly left his captor, pushed the enemy soldier to the ground, and picked up the soldier up from the ditch. The enemy troops were too stunned to react. Capon and Miller spent the remainder of their time in the war and turned in prison, a prisoner of war camp in North Korea, where Capon died in 1951. He was posthumously presented the Medal of Honor by the President of the White House in April 12th of 2013. What's amazing about this story is Capon did not shoulder a rifle or wield a bayonet. He carried the Bible. The Bible and holy water. These were the weapons he used in battle, and they were more effective than the bullets of a determined enemy. His death was a tragedy, but his life is what we must learn from. As a brigade combat team commander in Iraq, Sergeant First Class Paul Smith, on Memorial Day, a tradition dictates that the Stars and Stripes are raised briskly against the wind to the top of the staff and then solemnly lowered to the position of half staff, where it remains only till noon. It is then raised to full staff the remainder of the day. The half staff position remembers the more than 1 million women and men who gave their lives in service to their nation. Break. At noon, their memory is raised by the living who resolve not to let the sacrifice be in vain, but to rise up in their stead and continue in the fight for liberty. So many mothers and wives, husbands and fathers, extended family and friends, they do their duty every day to ensure their loved one is remembered. They carry on each day with pictures on mantles and mementos of a life not fully lived. They carry on understanding that the soldier chose this life of service and thus understood the potentiality of their death as a sacrifice for the sake of freedom. Break. These men and women left behind carry on their soldier's message, raising up their memory like an unfurled flag. Today, we also honor the families of those lost, for you bear a burden that only you can comprehend. We are grateful for the support you gave your soldier so they could carry out the mission of protecting the rest of us. It is our responsibility as citizens to remember the nation's brave fallen men and women, whether they died on foreign lands, in the heat of battle, or after a lifetime in uniform of our Army. Break. forget the men and women who know all too much. The cost of our freedom for their service to this country is the greatest gift of all. And in closing, again, Rob, thank you for letting me present these holiday messages to those who choose to listen, and for all the operators on 700 and elsewhere, the opportunity to continue to exercise their constitutional right to freedom of speech. God bless those deployed today in harm's way, providing us the opportunity to enjoy this beautiful day in a great nation. God bless her through these challenging times, and God bless each one of you. And now, take a moment of silence for our own thoughts and prayers. Please stand by for a short salute and tribute to our fallen. WRPB 458. I want to thank you all for listening tonight. May you have a blessed, rememberful, and joyous Memorial Day. I now return the 700 repeater back to open and normal use. WRPB 458. I'll be clear at 7:59. Thank you, Russ. Very, very well done. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Russ. Double there and nobody won. Go ahead. Thank you very much. Class of 68. Sir, I got most of it here covered up by a lot of static, but I got most of it. Thank you. be late to the party, but
I just wanted to say a thank you to all of our veterans, alive and fallen, for giving us the freedoms we have. WRZZ 368.